video, I will compare any country with another country. Like we will say that Russia is to be compared with Saudi Arab. Hence, Russia is bigger than Saudi Arab. But do you know that Russia is even larger than Antarctica? Here's why. The Russia is six 6,600 means 6,601 kilometer or something like that large, but Antarctica is smaller than it. I can't understand what is the size written, but we can clearly see that Russia is bigger than Antarctica, and it is very amazing. And India, the population of India is 1 billion, something close to 1 billion. And this is China. China's population is also close to 1 billion. So the population of the both countries is even larger than Russia, Saudi Arab, Antarctica. Antarctica do not have a population, dude. Canada, even the US, they both can make 3 or 2 billion population. But they are not one of the richest. The richest country in the world is actually not the US, but it's China. It is China with the GDP of 21.9 trillion. And the most nuclear missiles to Russia. Russia is still here. Russia is here. And most terrorism country also Iran, Iraq, they are also the terrorism country. But also Pakistan, and the largest Muslim country Indonesia, and the country with the most IQ, Singapore. The country which is the most powerful country in the world is US. The country which has the largest democracy, India. But do you know that in Greenland do not have any ant because of its cold temperature? And do you know every year Norway give Sweden a Christmas tree, and this is very amazing. Do you know there was do you know that the Democratic Republic of Congo was the poorest country once upon a time? And you know what is happening in Ukraine? Why this is happening? Because Russia don't want Ukraine to join the NATO, and if Ukraine join NATO, the US could even damage or nuke some part of Russia, like what they did in Japan. Why the Japanese Empire collapsed? The Japanese Empire collapsed because the Japanese Empire invaded a lot of countries, also my country India. So it was getting a very big problem to US. So US decided to nuke Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and on 6 August 1945 and 9 August 1945 the both cities get nuked. And you know the radiation is still there. Like kids take birth with 2 or more legs, and this is a big problem in Japan. But still it is a friend of the country US. But do you know but you all know the North Korea, the rules of North Korea, the president of North Korea. I am not here to blame it, but it is a very big tension in North Korea. And this is a small Hong Kong which will be invaded by the country China in future. There is an ad, so I will pause them. So there was a pause in the video because of the ad. But let's explain about let's explain any another country. So we will take Switzerland. Switzerland is not neutral for every of the time it was in the history. Before 1845, it invaded France. But after 1845, the country signed that it will never invade any country. And this is the Liechtenstein. I can't pronounce the name of the country, but this is Liechtenstein, which is 62 million kilometers long. Do you know that the country was most mistakenly invaded by Switzerland? Switzerland was mistakenly invaded the country. But let's talk about the world's smallest country, Vatican City. I can't even see where it is, but it is near the Rome. There the bad boy is. Vatican. I can't even select Vatican City. Get out, you pizza boy. And now I will take it. And let's. I think I have to pause video to take it. Wait a minute. Here I take this bad boy, but it is not coming in my hand. Yes, it's now in my hand, and it will be very hard to take it because it is very small. It is just 17 kilometers long. 17 kilometers. And do you know Hong Kong is bigger than it, which is 326 kilometers. Or 326 kilometers, which is bigger than it. What about Belarus? Things from Belarus is banned in many countries, like FIFA World Cup and Netflix has banned the Belarus due to supporting Russia in the war. And you know about China. China, don't worry about it because China has a copy of everything, and China has already banned them. Like YouTube is banned in China, but do you know YouTube is also banned in Turkmenistan, North Korea, Iran, and other countries. And do you know that the Canada is also a neutral country in Western Hemisphere, but due to supporting of US, Canada has to get a lower relation with Russia and China. And do you know India has, after the independence of India has fought like 7 wars. Only 7 wars, but India has won all the wars except of the 1962 war because Indian army didn't get any aid. India fought a war from Pakistan in 1948, victory. India fought a war on 1962 with China, Sino-Indian war, loss. After saying this, Pakistan decided to declare war of India, and then India won the war in 1965. The Pak war, and in 1971 the Bangladeshi war, because India did this because India and other countries were seeing that Pakistan is doing bad with the citizenship in the East Pakistan, which is now Bangladesh. So India decided to help them so that they can get independence from Pakistan's rule. But when Pakistan noticed that, Pakistan declared war on India by attacking a Bhuj military base in Gujarat. And this damaged a lot to India because it was the only military base that was connecting India and India with some important territories. But India fixed it because India fixed it because of the citizenship. Because the citizenship were applied there to fix the runway, and India won the war. But here the true friendship came, because after Pakistan was getting a lot of loss, US decided to help Pakistan by putting a revolution of ceasefire. But the revolution didn't work, so they ready some army to attack the country, like the country France, UK, and then the country of Russia and the country of Israel also came in the war. I don't think Israel came. But I'm fully sure that Russia came in war and helped India by sending their military thing. And do you know 1950 was by Korean War? Hence the title of the video is changed as facts about some countries and their history. And during the 1950, when the Korea was victory, Korea was independent by the Japanese rule. The Korea splits because of Russia, because Russia or can be said as Soviet Union that time ruled the north and the south was occupied by American troops, and then they both created a country, North Korea and South Korea. And then on 1950 the president of North Korea declared war, and he don't say South Korea as a country, and they declared war on South Korea called the Korean War. Though they even captured the capital and deeply into the territory of South Korea, leaving the city Busan. And then US noticed this, US decided to help the country, or the country will be out of the world as it will be part of North Korea. And you know that the America has left Afghanistan alone during the Taliban takeover. Don't say Taliban in front of any kid. And then when America came to help by taking some countries like Thailand or another country, and then they came to the war. There were totally 18 countries that were help of America. That was in help of America. And then the Korean and the United Nations and the American soldiers reached deeply into the territory of North Korea. And then while China was seeing this, China decided to help North Korea because their greatest enemy is still there in the war. And then then China helped North Korea. And then the 38th parallel where the both countries were divided break down, and you will see that today's map. But this war is not over. This war is paused. It will in future it could be the war could be start again. North Korea takes South Korea, South Korea takes North Korea. The both countries get squashed by United Nations. And now let's talk about the country of Israel. In the history of Israel, Israel was in war during the time of independence. Means when the Israel get independence, many countries declare war on Israel, and you know 6 countries like Saudi Arab, Syria, Lebanon, or many countries declare like 6 countries declare war on Israel. But Israel has 2 options: to attack or to wait. But Israel is not a country you will think about. And then Israel attacked all the countries and defeated 6 countries in 6 days. Do you know when the fighters just from Israel were coming to attack those countries didn't know that it was happening, and they destroyed many aircrafts on the land. So what do you think if they were in air? And let's now talk about Cyprus. The Cyprus is having a very bad situation because this is the main Cyprus. This is the northern Cyprus. The enemy is Cyprus, and their boundary is by United Nations buffer zone in Cyprus, and then by Akitoria. I can't pronounce it. Akrotiri. It is occupied by Britain, and also this Dekilia. You said it. So these both are the parts of UK. They are not still independent. So they have a very bad situation. Now let's talk about Greece. I have noticed something about Greece, that this is Greece and this is Croatia. I can't pronounce it good, but I can pronounce Greece. Croatia look like Greece without islands, or can be said that Greece look like Croatia without islands. Yeah, Croatia looks like Greece with islands. And And let's talk about this part. I don't know the name of this part. Istanbul. I don't know the name of this part, but you can clearly see here that there is a sea passing through. In future, it's said to be that this path will become a sea. What do you think? So it will happen. Means this planet will become an island. Sorry, and also not here. Africa is also getting some crack. And in future, this says that there will be an African Ocean, and this is Brazil, the fifth largest country. And do you know the largest country of Asia is actually is not the country of Russia, is actually China. And let me explain. Russia is most of the land of Russia is in Asia, but the capital of the country is in Europe, because this line is there is a line which is applied to Russia, and which is said that the after the line all the countries will be the part of Europe, and then it is also in Russia, and it is also it is after the capital of the country, so that the country belongs to Europe, and the China is the largest, then India, then Kazakhstan, then Saudi Arab. And let me talk about Chile. Many people say Chile in joke the longest person ever. But why is this? So listen, there are a lot of mountains here, and when the Spanish Empire were occupying more land, they can't occupy Chile as there were very problem to faces, as there were a lot of mountains, so that they can't occupy it. And then they didn't think of occupying Chile there again later. And do you know that Mexico do not have any official language? And now let me talk about Alaska. So Alaska is a state which is the largest in the world. It belongs to USA, but before it belongs to Russia. But why does Russia did that? Why does Russia sell it? So listen, first I will say that Russia sold this. Okay, so why is the Russia? So when Britain was ruling on Canada, Britain decided to conquer the Russia, and they want the whole world. So they declare a war there. But they can't defeat Russia, and then. But after seeing this, Russia decided to sell Alaska to US, as the Alaska is useless. But they don't know, when they sell Alaska for $7 million. But the person who calculates had said that they should not sell Alaska in $10 billion. But they only sell Alaska in $7 million. Many people think that $7 million is enough. More than enough. Okay, but America found a lot of gold there, which helped the economy boost in America. But also not this, during the time of World War II, many countries were fighting with each other. Okay, so they were busy in the war, and this was happening in Europe, not in America. So they decided to only send aid for their allies, and then they were working on their economy. But when Japan was becoming a big problem, they knew Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And now let me talk about the future of my country. My country is India. I think that in the future, India would be the richest or the second richest country after the US or China. And India could also become the superpower. And now we will talk about the Pakistan. So Pakistan is a Islamic country. Okay, Pakistan is an Islamic country, the second largest Islam country, and the only Islam country which has nuclear missiles. But do you know Pakistan will be the Pakistan will be I can't say the English. Yes. In the future or after 5 years, Pakistan will be a part of China. But why? The China is ally of Pakistan. But why? Why I am saying that? Solution. Pakistan and China were working on a project, but the project failed. And if the project worked, it would make the Pakistan one of the richest country in the world. But the project failed, and then the Pakistan got a lot of debt. The debt is more than the GDP, which is 1 trillion or 2 trillion. So if they didn't, so if they sell their whole country, they can't they can't get rid of the debt. And China and Pakistan has sold some land, but I can't say it here. Pakistan has sold some land to China, or I don't think. And let's we talk about Afghanistan. Afghanistan is now in control of Taliban. What if Afghanistan and Pakistan unite? Afghanistan is in the control of Taliban, and Pakistan is a terrorist country, and Taliban is also a terrorist country. So if they both unite, they would not be the populous or the largest country, or even at the top, because they are only the Afghanistan is 2 million, I don't think so, 2 million, and Pakistan is 3 million. So it will be 5 million, but not the largest country. And do you know that the both country will be the largest terrorism? So it will be the greatest enemy of United Nations, US and other countries. So this is enough for today. We will talk in next video. So goodbye, and like, subscribe, and click the notification bell of my channel. Goodbye.